Welcome to day two. So, here we are on the vlog. Who knows what's going to happen today? And I don't know. I'm just making this up as we go along. You clearly know that already from yesterday's video. So, this is a different angle, and there's the move around. There's no technical stuff. This is literally on a sort of swivel chair. So we're just kind of making up even the apparatus as we go. It's the chair below, which is the kind of tripod. So I'm trying this angle. It's kind of not too bad, just going to the Vectrex there. So anyway, this is why we're here, obviously the Vectrex. And I'm going to talk about Mindstorm, which is an amazing game. You can hear it there in the background with the Vectrex. I've owned this Vectrex, wow, for about 23 years now. It was bought from a chap in Cambridge, of all places, which is not far from me now, but I used to live in West London, and he drove it all the way to my house, which was pretty amazing. And I think I dare say what I paid for it, because it wasn't an awful lot, and I'm not making this up. It was about £110, and it came in a canvas bag, and it came with, I think it was 4 of these games, which is a pretty decent price. And I must admit, I've looked after it over the years, and I do play it. I don't just sort of stare at it, but I must admit I don't play it an awful lot. So the game, obviously, that comes with the Vectrex should not be overlooked, which is why we're here today, because, you know, the games that come as part of the package, especially those that are built in, if you like, and this is a built-in game. You can see there's no cartridge there at all. There's no hidden thing going on that I've got. There's no invisible cartridge, don't worry. It's Mindstorm, and every sort of Vectrex, I'll talk over it a bit, it's loud. Let me just turn it down a little bit. I do like it in the background, but we'll have the sound. So yeah, I guess call it 3D. I certainly might. I would if it was back in 1982, which is when it came out, to be honest. And I'll spout out some facts, don't worry. I've not just pulled these out of my head. Some of them I know, some of them are obviously just from the internet, but hey, I'm making it easier for you, hopefully. That's what this is all about. And yes, it was basically a 1 or 2 player game. You could play it one after the other, effectively, a go at a time, which was very much like the arcade. And this, for me, is an absolute arcade classic. It really is. It's basically Asteroids, isn't it? If you know your early games of the golden era. And effectively, they created this Asteroids version to be the kind of killer app, if you like, a bit like with Tetris, I guess, with the Game Boy. And this came out with the Vectrex, and I think was a huge success for it, to be fair. I mean, Scramble, you can see there, that again was another classic arcade game, which really did, I suppose, sell the Vectrex. Unfortunately, Vectrex didn't have a long life. I think partly down to the cost of the machine. I know there's some issues about availability of the screens. I think you will find something like 10 Pence Arcade. Vic will know a lot more about this than me, so I'm going to put a little link to him in this video as well, and the amazing podcast that he does there with Sean, and he will tell you a lot more about these than me, but I'm just giving you like an overview from my perspective, from the game player's perspective. Now, the other cool thing, obviously, about Vectrex is the overlays, because it is, you can see it's black and white, it's vector, very, very, very bright screen, quite amazing, really. And that was very much the order of the day, especially in the really the late 70s. You went to an arcade, things like Boot Hill and some of the stuff around the kind of mid 70s. This is kind of what you saw as a kid, and as a very, very young kid, this is what I kind of saw in the arcade. And Vectrex sort of said, no, we won't do that, and we'll put a nice overlay on top to give it that sort of feel about it. I must admit, though, I do sometimes just like playing it without the overlay. Call me weird, but it's got that, real nostalgic feel to it. It just reminds me of the 1970s. Everything was in black and white, let's face it, and that's how we lived our world. But ND wanted to do something different, and they put that overlay on it. What else can I tell you about the game? Well, obviously, like I say, it's Asteroids, but obviously it's not, because they did a lot of this sort of stuff where they created versions, clones, whatever you might want to call it, and basically it's Mindstorm. It's 2 words, believe it or not. It's not 1 word. If you really care about that sort of thing, but it is asteroids. It didn't have a box, so pretty obvious. It just came with the unit. It would have been quite nice to have a box. Maybe there are some boxes out there, because people do create, lots of little, I guess, homemade sort of things. So if you ever see any of that, I'd love to see that. Hit me up in the comments, or just usual stuff. All our links are below for stuff like that. Also, any other trivia that you know about this game, because I'm probably fairly loose on what is available about this game. But I think there's some bugs in it. I think to do with a level 13 bug. I bet you can't get past level 13. It is a hard game. We're going to play the game now. But I just didn't want to tell you nothing about it. And the Vectrex itself, I might do another review on that with the cool bag, which I got with it. Which I had no idea is very rare, apparently. And Jason Bradbury wants it. So, yep, one day, Jason, you never know. But I use it to store stuff, but carefully, because I want to keep the edges of it. But back to this again. We're going to have a little go now. So I'm just going to crank up the sound. Not too bad, so I can talk over it. So hopefully you got a bit of a view there. I was going to move the camera up, but it's all going to go pear-shaped if I do. So let's just, I'll tell you what, we'll start again like that. That's the reset button, if you hadn't noticed. I'll try and move it a bit closer. There you go. So you can at least see the gameplay a bit. Angle is interesting, but you get the general idea. Okay, you can see my hands. Let's give it a go. Okay, so talking and playing is not my forte. That's my excuse before we kick off. But so it's really just there's a few buttons involved. Let's just show you and remind myself. So 3 is the thrust, 2 is teleport, and if I'm right, 4 is fire. Yeah, so let's just thrust forward with 3. Okay, get yourself in position, and let's say absolutely no skill whatsoever. As you can tell, I just got blown up. So I always, will say it's the talking and the playing, but it takes me a while to get into a game, to be fair, if you know me. The only game I'm good at is Outrun Coast to Coast, and you can ask King Monkey Darren about that, because I beat him at NQ64, only just though. But yeah, most other games I'm pretty rubbish at, to be honest. I thought I was good at Tekken 2, but yeah, not in the arcade. I'm just not very good at that. I'm not bad on the PlayStation, really. Let's try and clear the screen at least, because it does look really cool, this game. Every time I play it, I wonder if my Vectrex is going to blow up. Come on, at least see it through to the first level. Come on. There you go, look at that wonderful screen. So it's the old hyperspace of Star Wars. A lot of games inspired by Star Wars, obviously, around this period. Obviously, it had been Star Wars, but very much still around in terms of pop culture. Wow, I just rammed straight into him there. I love the way this ship comes over the top. It's very cool. I'm actually quite interested and excited to be making this video, because I haven't played my Vectrex for a while. I think this is part of this daily vlog journey. Actually, I had a chat with a few people, I'm just going to die, and they said, oh, why don't you actually just talk about, things you do, where you go, what you've got, other people's collections, and, perhaps just mix it up a bit. So I'm just going to enjoy myself, I'm not doing that, just talking about some of this gear, just might do something on that. I do like that. Anyway, sorry, I do get distracted, as you'll find out. Maybe some guests could be cool. I knew that was going to happen. Out and about. So yeah, that's Mindstorm. And I just want to give you a little bit of an overview of the whole piece. I'm going to be ambitious and maybe lift the camera up now. Whoa, here we go. So you can have a bit more of a closer look as we come in there at the machine itself. As I say, nothing in in the side there. But there, he is, just whatever it is, it's beautiful. I love my Vectrex. And I love to play it. I don't just look at it. But sometimes it's nice just to have in the background, you know, like when you have an arcade machine and it's just rolling over behind you with this sort of look of it. I'm going to get all nostalgic now as I leave you. But I will be probably looking at some of these games. I think Scramble could be a one because it's a real favourite of mine. And maybe Hyper Chase as well. But I hope you enjoyed this video, say number 2 of however many I might do, hopefully do many more. Like as always, I'll say, please do like and subscribe. I'm not going to overdo that, you know, don't if you don't, and whatever. Give me feedback, also tell me what other stuff you'd like to do. If I need to inject a bit more comedy into it, I don't know, I'm not a comedian. Or if you just want to see the thing and the gameplay and a bit more detail. And yeah, any tips, advice will be welcome. And also just a lot of what would you like to see, because I can pick and choose around this space. I mean, just moving around here, I might do something on the old Game & Watch, it's a big favourite of mine, but it was even there sneaking underneath a Pocketeer. So yeah, we could go right back, who knows. I'll leave you with the Vectrex because that's what we're here for today, and I will see you on the next video.